Okay, what's going on, people? Ronan MMA here. Um, there were some fights that got made recently that I want to talk about, and we're going to talk about the implications of those fights, what they mean, and I'm going to give my early prediction for both of them. First things first, please like and subscribe. I've been taking the time to make a bunch of videos, logos, all that good stuff. I'm trying to come up with good content for you guys, and I know that this space is lacking, dude. There's a few really good MMA content creators, and then there's a few horrible ones who get views, because I would imagine there's not very many good content creators here that talk about MMA that aren't boring or whatever, so I would really appreciate a subscription, dude. If you're from anywhere in rural Canada, you'll understand the idea of like somebody having an egg stand, especially right now because of our wonderful Supreme Leader. Eggs are like $9 a carton if you want good ones. You'll get locals, including myself. I live in a very small town, who will have egg stands. You have your chickens in the back. You got a little egg stand out front. You put the eggs out there in a carton, $5 a carton. You leave a jar on the table, and the rest is history. The neighbors never steal my eggs, so please don't be a dick, dude. Don't steal my eggs, okay? So first fight we're gonna talk about is Jared Gordon versus Bobby Green. Now I gotta be honest. This seems like the UFC's way of letting Jared Gordon know that they know and they're aware that he got robbed against Paddy Pimblett. Because this fight is like, while Bobby Green is not ranked, the fights that Bobby Green has been getting it's as if he was ranked. You know what I mean? Like, he fought Rafael Fiziev after he, or was it before? I can't remember, but when he beat the brakes off of Hack Parast, and then smashed Ally Quinta, who is like tough as nails, dude. If there's anything that Ally Quinta is, he's tough as nails, and Bobby Green just annihilated him. And then, Drew Dober, who's on the come up, all of those gentlemen, like, they're all much closer to the top 15 than Jared Gordon is. So essentially, Jared Gordon's is getting like a boost in the rankings in terms of an opponent coming off of a loss, right? It seems like the UFC is aware that Paddy Pimblett didn't win that fight, and you did get screwed. You only got half your money. And despite what that dumb fuck Mushroom Cut kid says, that was not fight of the night, so he didn't get a bonus. He literally just got screwed. And this seems like their way of making up for it, because if he goes in there and he beats Bobby Green, which, spoiler, he probably won't do, that would set him up for an even bigger fight, potentially even like somebody in the top 15. Now, I know that that's a bit of a stretch, because the lightweight division is so deep that anybody in the top 15 on any given night, could, well, maybe. Regardless, the top 15 is incredible in lightweight, much like bantamweight, very deep division. I think it's good that they've done this for Jared Gordon, because he could have just faded into irrelevancy after that. Everybody says, dude, people have short-term memory. So at the time, everybody was all on Jared Gordon's nuts. But down the line, as Paddy Pimblett said on his record, he's got the W, and Jared Gordon doesn't. And that's all people are going to remember anyways. So this is at least a chance at gaining some notoriety from it all. And and Bobby Green's coming off of a pretty bad KO too, so they're giving him like the best possible chance to beat Bobby Green. But my prediction for that one would be Bobby Green probably getting a TKO. Bobby Green's hard to hit, man, and he's tricky to deal with. Like, guys like Fizzy have had a problem with him because he's just tricky. His punches come from all sorts of angles that you don't see coming because his hands are always down at his, and they're not just down, they're loose. It's almost like he's an inflatable arm flailing tube man, but there's just no wind. So it's going to be a tricky one for Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon's pretty small for a lightweight as well. So I think Bobby Green probably gets a TKO in that one. But at least it gives Jared Gordon a chance to sort of make something positive out of getting screwed over from that piece of shit Douglas Crosby. And the other judges, for that matter. But Crosby gave him round one. Patty, round one, that is. And that was insane. So the next fight we're going to talk about, dude, this is a good fight. Chris Gutierrez versus Pedro Munhoz. Now, Chris Gutierrez coming off of that horrific but also beautiful knockout victory of Frankie Edgar. That was a really hard one to watch. When I went back and rewatched that whole event, which I believe was UFC 281, right? Pereira versus Adesanya, or Adesanya versus Pereira, whatever. I skipped that fight. As beautiful of a knockout, that it was, I did not want to see that happen twice to Frankie Edgar. I just was like, I know what happened. It's a quick one. I'm going to just skip past it because that was fucked up. But Chris Gutierrez is slick. And he's a bigger bantamweight dude. Well, or maybe it's that Pedro Munhoz is a smaller one. But, Pedro Munhoz is tough as nails also. Guy's got a crazy chin, so it's going to be hard to put him out. But it's hard to put him out with punches. I haven't really, in recent history, or recent memory, I can't think of anybody like landing a solid head kick or a fucking nasty knee on him or some shit like that, right? And look, there's a lot of Sean O'Malley haters out there who figure, he wouldn't have beat Pedro Munhoz, but he would have absolutely probably ended up finishing Pedro Munhoz in that fight. And yeah, Pedro wasn't fucking around. His eye really was mangled, but there's also some controversy on whether or not that was even from the eye poke or if that was from a punch in the previous round. He did not look himself in that fight. I think he was legitimately scared. Or not. A healthy fear. People get upset when you accuse fighters of being scared, but it's normal, dude. Everybody gets scared. So, I don't know why. I think that it's kind of like what comes with fighting a guy who's got so much fame, and it's like what Conor did to people. Like, people were so scared and I think this is what's happening with Jake Paul, man. I think people are so scared to get knocked out by this guy that they fight like retards and then they get knocked out anyways. You just gotta go. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, homie. But, Pedro Munhoz looked hesitant in that fight. Whereas typically he's like, pressure, calf kicks, like, hit me, I don't give a shit. In the Cody Garbrandt fight, that was nuts. His war with Frankie Edgar, where he kind of got robbed, if we're being honest. The way he just ruined Jimmy Rivera with fucking calf kicks too. Like, the dude is good. But, as of late, hasn't had, like, phenomenal performances. And I don't think he's got a finish in his last few, besides that Cody Garbrandt one. Yeah, I just zoned out for a second there. Sorry about that. I would imagine Chris Gutierrez gets that done. Whether or not he gets the finish, I'm not too sure of yet. If I had to make an early prediction, as I'm doing, I would probably just say a decision, just because of how tough Pedro Munhoz is. However, I wonder what his confidence looks like after that Sean O'Malley fight, because on all accounts, like, the UFC just treated that as Pedro Munhoz lost to Sean O'Malley, and they were just going to keep going with things. So He probably felt a little bit better after watching him fight Petr Yan, which was not a bad decision, by the way. Come at me, bro. Yeah. Yeah, dude. No, I think that Chris Gutierrez gets that one done. Probably by like a dominant decision, too, if I'm being honest. You know, Pedro Munhoz always has a chance just because of how tough he is. And the dude is like it reminds me very much like of Dominic Cruz in his earlier career, where he gets dropped and pops back up like now, like a fucking zombie. And my throat's fucking up. I apologize for that, bro. But anyways, those are both good fights, man. And that's got some implications there in that bantamweight division. Gutierrez is closing in on the upper echelon of the rankings. And he's just another guy to throw in the mix, dude. That bantamweight is fucking balls deep, papa. If we're gonna use some Brendan Shaw lingo. Balls deep. That thing is like incredible. One of the best divisions in the sport. Might even be the best one. But only because of all the new talent. If lightweight didn't have so many big names where they could actually have like a Dustin Poirier fight Arman Tsarukyan, or a they made the Justin Gaethje Fiziev fight, which is a good one. But you know, there's a bunch of guys at the top that are like a little longer in the tooth, maybe towards the end of their career, all still very good, that don't want to fight guys like Arman Tsarukyan or Mateus Gamrot, or, you know, pick your poison. So, you know, anyways, like and subscribe, please. I took the time to make a logo, rebranded, changed the name up, all because of some dickhead in my comments telling me that I looked off-putting in my sunglasses. He didn't want to come here. I felt like he just might have been slightly intimidated by me. Or maybe he just associates like sunglasses with Andrew Tate now or some shit. I don't fucking know, but don't steal my fucking eggs, dude. Okay? Be like my neighbors. Just be nice. Don't steal my shit. I would really, really appreciate it. I'm Canadian, eh? So we need all the help we can get. Because our Supreme Leader's so good. Okay. Subscribe. Pretty please. See you later. Oh, I'll be back here tomorrow morning with a UFC 283 recap. We'll go over my picks. I went 82% on the last event. 9 for 11 I got correct. And we're going to try to keep that streak alive. We're going for a 70% pick rate this year, so that maybe I can, you know, get some credit like the bigger content creators get. I'm doing better than Dan Hardy. That's all I gotta say. Okay, subscribe. See ya.